ladies and gentlemen, her. Skincare routine products on my website. FOMOBlackWoman.com. I would appreciate it so much if you guys could check it out. Let's get to skincare routine. I'm also really excited because I'm not excited actually, I'm depressed. I have a new job. I'm happy I have a new job and I have financial security, or at least I feel like I have financial security because although I grew up really fucking poor, I have a rich girl mentality. Money does bring happiness. Anybody that tells you money doesn't bring happiness is a white privileged person that never had to worry about financial security. When I have a job, when I know I have money to spend, I feel happy. This is the Honey Bush in my skincare line. It's my favorite scent, honestly. I like to thoroughly massage the product into my skin. See, just like that. You don't want to wet your hands. This is helpful because you get complete use out of the product, so you don't feel like wasting your money. But what I've been doing to help with my ADHD, I joined 3 Facebook groups that's related to ADHD, and I highly recommend this to everyone. Facebook is something I'm going to delete anytime soon because I find it very resourceful. One is called Jan ADHD. Well, it's not really a group, it's a personal page where this person posts relatable posts like memes or just share stories about how ADHD affects her life. Most of the time she asks questions that intrigues my mind because it's related to ADHD, like how does ADHD affect your time management and stuff like that. There's also this other ADHD group called the ADHD for adult or something like that. These groups really do help in a sense where people are sharing TikToks, informational posts. Just kind of does this click thing in my mind where it's just oh, okay, I do the same thing too. I just thought it was weird, but it's normal because people with ADHD do it too. That's how it's been helping me. And also, again, there's a lot of people posting tips and tricks, more information that I'm afraid to ask my mom because she herself is not knowledgeable about having ADHD. Sorry, I was thinking about 5 things I wanted to say. I was trying to form a sentence in my head after the current sentence that I was just saying, but now I forgot what I was saying and what I wanted to say altogether. So let's just rinse this off. Do you see the clear difference? You see why I wanted to invest in this brand and why I'm promoting it so much. I want to say that having a consistent skincare routine is going to help improve your skin, but give it a try. Support a Black woman. I'm shamelessly gonna promote myself throughout this entire video. Niche scrub. So just in the skincare routine, here's an updated version because I'm gonna keep doing it until y'all start buying my products. I really don't want to have to go to work no more. I've been working since I was 13 years old. 13. That's when I realized how poor my family was, and my rich girl mentality started kicking in. I would want things that I would ask my mom and dad for it, and I would get a 5-hour speech and then $1. But I just want to enjoy my life. Then again, I have this fear of ending up really poor, homeless, and the world is not kind to women like me. So I'm really just trying to create opportunities that makes me happy while it's working. So if that means getting a regular job, I'm pretty happy with the result. After getting ready, I got dressed and started on my morning routine. I start my morning by cleaning up my space and reading a good book while waiting for my partner to wake up so we can eat breakfast together. Tyler made breakfast this morning. After breakfast, I read some more and then got ready to film my video for y'all. woman channel. So I recently discovered that I have ADHD. I actually made this discovery early 2019 when the world was ending and I decided to go back to school. And at first I was so angry because for so long I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought that I was just dumb and it just took me long. And I would always think, oh, there must be something really wrong with me. But the second feeling that I felt was immediate relief, because then now I knew why it took me so long to process information. All of this sort of happened like in a funny way. First, it started with TikTok. They are educational TikTok. I don't care what anyone says. You can learn a lot from TikTok. I've learned so much about myself from TikTok, because literally, what are you gonna tell me? The video? No, because everything's so hard. But there was this TikToker, I don't remember his name, another ADHD, right, that I learned from. He watched most of my videos. I'm always just like, oh, I've learned this technique, but I can't remember who thought. Anyway, I was on TikTok and I kept seeing these videos about this guy explaining how most of us, especially from a Black home, it's really hard for us to know whether we have certain learning disorder or disability, because simple things like stemming, how just like shake and move, we get in trouble for. So we force ourselves to stop it. And he would give like a very specific example of certain stems or ADHD or autism related, just like learning disorder in general. He'll give different example, and I started to relate to a lot of them. And the more I watched his video, the more I learned how ADHD affects a Black young woman like me, or just like the people in the Black community. I started questioning it. I'm just like, oh my god, wow, like, yeah, I can relate to a lot of this, but it must just be like, you know, one of these things that are just super relatable. Another thing that happened was, what was it? Oh yeah, I started taking this class. Like I said, I went back to school and I wanted to finish my teaching degree. I was taking this class specifically catered to learning disorders and how to manage with learning disorders. Once we got to the topic of, first of all, once we got to understanding what learning disorders are, learning disability, and how they differ from like other disability, I started to question whether I had a learning disability or not, because we had to write a paper and I just did a lot of research. He just gave us a lot of like information and articles to read, and I started to again relate to the articles that I was reading. I was like, again, this is very relatable, but it was just one of these things. We got to ADHD and it was just like, wow, okay, yeah, no, this is way too specific, this is way too relatable. We were having a discussion with class, so we were talking about like, are you an auditory learner, a visual learner? And when it got to my turn, I was just like, I'm more of a visual person, of explaining how like the little steps that I take to be able to like grasp information like other people. Literally, both me and my professor, this was via Zoom, he made eye contact with me mid-talking, and I was just like, I stopped talking, and I was just like, oh my god, I think I might have ADHD. And he was just like, yeah, well, you can always contact your doctor or my parents. They usually have like that information on hand. And he also says some parents hide it from their children because they don't want their children to feel some type of way. Mind blown. But even when that happened, I was just like, okay, I might have ADHD, but it's not extreme. It can't be extreme. Like, I'm just a little bit, I didn't want to take it too serious. I didn't want to accept that I might have ADHD, because it's also a scary thing to just be like, oh god, I have a learning disorder, and I don't want to put that label on me. The final straw for me though was, I was laying down, I was cuddling with my partner, and we're just like talking, blah, 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 and out of nowhere, it was just like, this memory just like hit me. It's like flashback of, it was 5th grade me in an office with my teacher and my mom, and I remember my mom being very angry, and just my teacher wanted to put me in the special
ESL, like English as a second language, as well like speech therapy and just like special ed class, so I could, you know, get special help. And I just remember giving my mom the letter with my teacher, telling her that I might need special ed class. And my mom came to pick me up from school, and they had a meeting, and I just remember my mom being very angry at the teachers, just being like, my child does not need help. She's totally fine. Just English is just hard for her. This is just an environment. And I remember the process of going through like learning whether this was just like another thing we learned in class. Oftentimes kids with are considered troublemakers that cannot pay attention in class, such as are high on energy, are often labeled as troublemakers. Or if they come from a different country, they're labeled, oh, this is a second language, maybe this is why. So it took them so long for them to get to the point of saying, oh, okay, she might have ADHD and she needs to sit in special ed class, because my teachers were noticing. And they tried to tell my mom, and I just remember my mom being very upset. She was just like, no, she will not. She will not. No, no. I remember my mom being very embarrassed, and I think that's why I hit the emotion, because I really don't like embarrassing my mom or hurting her. The only thing she agreed to was taking speech class and taking the ESL classes, which is whenever I would have English, it'll take me out of those classes. It'll be like a class with other kids that can't speak English. Just pretty much translate whatever we're learning in English class into that class. That will be a little more manageable for us. The thing with ADHD is speech pattern. So it wasn't just me learning a new language. It was me learning a new language whilst having ADHD. And I had to take speech therapy. But yeah, that's how I discovered that I had ADHD. And after getting that memory, I called my mom, and I was just like, Mom, I'm gonna ask you something, and I really need you to be honest. You need to be honest and you need to be serious. Do I have ADHD? And she literally was just like, who told you that? Who told you? How did you find out? Who told you? Why did you just tell me all of this? I like want me to label myself as somebody who has ADHD and just like kept that as my personality. But you know, I mean, I understand why she did it. At the same time, I just wish she had told me. You portray people with ADHD as like people who are just like hyper, blah, 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 which I guess can be me, but it's not all that it is. I'm glad that I, you know, saw those TikTok and I was able to just, for a whole year, connect the dots together. I didn't want to make this video mainly because I didn't want to like misinform anyone. I didn't want anyone to jump in here and be like, you don't have ADHD, because I'm just like, okay, I don't want to have to argue with anyone. So this video inspire you to check out more information about ADHD. I'm glad I was able to learn so much from my professor, as well as from the guy from TikTok. If I remember his name, I promise I'll put his name somewhere here. Yeah, don't forget to like, share this video, and subscribe. Thank you for watching a normal Black woman video. English is hard. Follow us on Instagram. You can follow Normal Black Woman on Instagram here. Hey baby. I'll be right here on my personal Instagram. And be soon. Thank you for joining Normal Black Woman. I'll see you in our next video.